G'day guys, Jaden here from Abraham's Fortune Wellness Center, sharing a little bit about where I'm at today and coming to our second last value, would you believe? We're already chomping through these at such a rate, but it's been brilliant and I would love to continue with you guys today to talk to one of my personal favorites. We refuse to give up even when things get tough and always act in a professional, loving manner with each other and with our clients. We've touched a little bit on some of our earlier values videos. I'll put a link in the description of engaging with people in the business space, with clients, and then just personally as well in our personal lives, in a loving way, and the benefit of doing that, right? To come to God first, to discover love through Him, find it for ourselves, find it for others. It's the best way we're going to be able to do that, right? However, this first part about talking, we refuse to give up when it gets tough. We haven't really touched on that in some of the values yet, right? And yes, that loving manner is part of the reason why it's one of my favorite values, but also that first part too. Resilience and determination is something that, yes, some of us have certain levels at. You could say, oh, I give up so easily. Or, no, I feel like I, try to see things through. Or like anything I start, I make sure I finish it. Even if I don't enjoy it, I'm there till the end. You have my word. We're all going to be at different levels naturally as to how we show up in those spaces, right? But in saying that, resilience is something, rather than determination being just a set level, I believe really resilience is something that we can build over time, right? We can train it. We go, okay, times get tough, right? Times get tough for us all, whether it be financially or physically or romantically or any sort of way you can describe your life. There's probably going to be some suffering inherent to it. Even the spiritual journey, right? When you say, start questioning my faith, am I going in the right direction? Even questioning deeper levels, is all of this worth it? Is all of this real? Is God actually seeing me up there? There's so many things that we can struggle with, even on something as beautiful as a spiritual journey, right? Let alone everything else that we go through in life. But what happens when we give up? We're essentially saying to ourselves, this is as far as I'm going. I'm turning around, I'm going back, or I'm sitting down, I'm not going any further, right? If we don't go any further, we're not going to change. Nothing's going to change, right? We'll know what we know. We'll know the path that we've been on, right? And we can go back that way. But again, we know that path. We truly do already know what that is. So we're not going to learn anything new. We're not going to change. We're not going to shift, which means we're not going to grow, right? If we don't grow, what are we doing? We're just sitting there. We're treading water essentially, right? Which we can do probably for the rest of our lives if you really want to. I personally believe that, we come back, we do it again, and so you could do it in your next life, in your next life, in your next life. However, until we say, okay, I'm going to pick up my backpack and I'm going to keep trekking, even though I don't know what's coming up, and even though it's scary, even though it's a dark path, even though it's going down into a valley and, it's a little bit of an unstable surface. Of course, doing this with safety is important as well. I'm not saying, hey, go out to your local hiking track and get stuck in. I'm using it more as an analogy, right? Of when it comes to pushing ourselves further, especially when things get tough. Yes, we can stop. You can stop for as long as you like. Get your bearings, a couple of deep breaths. What I like to do is integrate things into my life along the journey itself that are tools for me to be able to reset, refocus, realign, recalibrate as I'm trekking, right? And so yes, you are sort of stopping for a moment. It can kind of feel like you're stopping, right? Meditation's a big one for me. Okay, I'm spending an hour or so a day, let's call it, meditating, right? The untrained eye could say, well, it's a waste of time, right? What are you doing? You are stopping. You're stopping on the side of a track. I see it differently, right? Because when I meditate, I'm actually resetting myself almost in like a lens of self-care to be able to keep going down the track. And so, yes, you could say that I'm stopping, but because it's the thing that's allowing me to continue further, it is actually in its own way propelling me to go towards the destination that I'm trekking to, which for me personally is the Lord. Maybe it's something different for you. I encourage it for it to be for you, but nonetheless, let's hear about it in the comments. Where do you feel like you're struggling in life? If you feel honest and open enough to share, I know that's kind of a big topic. So if you'd rather share, potentially the loving part of it, how you see love, how you view God, what you're trekking towards, would love to hear all about it. Whether it's figurative or literal, chuck it in those comments section. And until the next video, we'll see you then.